Welcome to the Morning Update. I'm Abby Smith. The Prime Minister has toured a UK submarine facility where the first of the AUKUS nuclear fleet will be built. He says the sub still will deliver jobs as well as security.
I see this as being very similar to what the car industry provided for Australia in the post-war period. Industry that created jobs and security for communities, but also had indirect spin-offs in other industries as well.
Philip Lowe has been confronted by small business owners angry at the latest interest rate hike. The Reserve Bank Governor increased the cash rate for the 11th time in a year, taking it to 3.85%. He's been accused of making a knee-jerk reaction to the federal government's RBA review after inflation had come down slightly in the latest figures. The Commonwealth Bank is swinging the axe with plans to slash more than 200 jobs. The finance sector union was notified last week, with redundancies already being rolled out. Pharmaceutical giant Moderna is seeking approval for a personalised cancer vaccine. It's hoping to begin trials of a jab for late-stage melanoma patients in the next year or so. One South Australian police officer is fighting for his life this morning after a stabbing in a small town north of Adelaide. Sean Ferris was shot dead after stabbing both officers who were speaking to the 53-year-old at Crystalbrook over issues with his dog. South Australia's Police Commissioner Grant Stevens says Ferris had a history of violent behaviour.
They were following up on an incident that occurred yesterday at the local supermarket. And yeah, in some respects, that incident you could describe as relatively benign, but it required some further inquiry by police officers, and they were undertaking that responsible duty.
And Network 10 has announced that the latest season of MasterChef will go to air with the blessing of the family of Judge Jock Zonfrillo. The celebrity chef died earlier this week at the age of 46. You can catch the first episode of season 15 on Sunday at 7:30. Entertainment and sport next. The AFL and Tasmanian Government are being urged to make careful appointments when selecting the 19th side initial board of directors. A community campaign will be held to select the nickname, logo, Guernsey and song. Tasmanian and Richmond great Matthew Richardson telling Wide World of Sports the club needs some strong foundations.
They've really got to make sure now in the setting up of this team that there is a real presence in all of the regions, the North West Coast, the North in Launceston and Hobart. And that's going to be one thing that they've really got to make sure that they get right. But all Tasmanians now have got to jump on and get behind this.
Melbourne Storm boss Justin Rodsky has shot down suggestions a second NRL team in Victoria could work, declaring the lack of funding from league headquarters has hurt the game's growth. Meantime, round 10 kicks off tomorrow night with a doubleheader, the early game between the Bulldogs and Raiders, then it's Manly hosting the Broncos. In cricket, Steve Smith is preparing for a county cricket stint with Sussex. He's getting used to English conditions ahead of the Ashes and says winning a series on English soil is on his bucket list. And in soccer, World Cup hero Lionel Messi has copped a 2-match suspension from his team PSG. The Argentinian superstar took a trip to Saudi Arabia to help pro-tourism without the club's permission. In entertainment news, a new gig for Ed Sheeran. He's replacing Lionel Richie on American Idol for a short stint, while Alanis Morissette is coming in for Katy Perry. Richie and Perry are heading to the UK for the King's coronation concert. Yellowstone actor Kevin Costner is heading for the divorce courts. He and wife Christine are splitting up after an 18-year marriage. The couple share 3 children. And John Bon Jovi has gone public on his son's engagement to Stranger Things star Millie Bobby Brown. The rocker isn't too concerned the couple plan to get hitched so young, insisting age doesn't matter.
You know, if you find the right partner and you grow together, I think that would be my advice really, is growing together is wise.
Jake is 20 and Millie just 19. And that's the latest from the Nova podcast team. We'll see you this afternoon for another episode of The Update.